used to go to church service, New Year's Eve, get out of that service and have a bottle ready in the cart, and we're about to go turn up and go to the city or go do this and go do that. You know what I'm saying? And drinking like in the church parking lot as we're driving out. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, sis. I promise you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have coming. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell. You want to hit the notification bell that's on the side of the subscribe button, because then it notifies you every time that I upload my next video, which you should be used to seeing me because I'm content key, I'm consistent key, unapologetically key. Okay, baby girl. And last but not least, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Signs that God is ready for you to change, okay? And a lot of us, well, I'm not going to speak for y'all, but I'm going to speak for myself. I never really was a person that liked change, or change that happened abruptly. Like, I wanted to kind of like have a plan, you know, a game plan. And in this walk with Christ, I'm learning that your plans are not God's plans, and you have to go with God's plans, because I mean, when you try to go with your plans, you mess your life up. You might just end up dating somebody that's like super toxic. You might stay in a relationship way longer than you should. You may keep a friendship way longer than you should. You may be trying to stick at the same job for too long, and God is trying to take you to the next level, but you're so comfortable in that space that you just don't want to keep it pushing, you know? And I was one of those people. When I feel like when I create a system and it works good for me and it's going good, I do not like change. But as we all can see, we are kind of getting thrown in the change, especially since this pandemic, because our lives were totally different before March of this year. You know, when the pandemic first started and the world shut down, you know, for me, I had a game plan. I was going to school. After I finished school, I was going to find me a job, and then I was going to get a job. I was going to make a lot of money. I was going to do YouTube on the side, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I was going to get it cracking, but that is not what happened. Actually, it went all the way the opposite. So what happened was I ended up finishing school. And then when I finished school, sweetie, like, I was thrown for a loop. Like, the kids had ended up having to stay home with me. So now I can't go to work because I don't have anyone to watch my children. If I would have went with my plan and the way that I wanted things to happen, I would have never stepped out of my comfort zone, started my own business. Even with YouTube, going a little bit more in depth in YouTube, because I was at that point, I was just like, look, I'm just going to work a 9 to 5. And I'm okay with doing YouTube on the side, or for, you know, like for fun, because I really do love YouTube. I love it. It's something that I'm very passionate about, you know, but that's not the plan that God had for me. You know, I feel like every time that I try to get a job, it's like something always goes left, and I kid you guys not, like it's always something that's happening that goes completely left every time I try to get a job. Or when I do get a job, I always end up getting fired because of my background. And I never understood that, because I have friends whose backgrounds is way worse than mine, and they are able to keep jobs. They're able to find jobs like quickly. And you know what I'm saying? And it used to bother me, like, why can I not have a job? Like, why is it always something? Every time, I kid you not, every time that I got a job and I got in and I got settled, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Then they'll just out of the blue be like, your background came back. But I never looked at it like that is God pushing me into a different direction. I always looked at it like it made me feel down on myself. It made me feel like I was a failure. It's like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get a job, or why can't I keep a job? You know, like, and I have children to take care of. I have myself. I have bills. I have things, you know, that I need to do. But not knowing that maybe God didn't want that life for me. You know, like maybe he seen better or higher, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not fully 100% like, you know, where I want to be in YouTube, of course, but it is pushing me to do YouTube more and, you know, do things outside of like a regular 9 to 5, which I would have been content with. And so that's the thing, like, when you got to recognize the signs that God is showing you when he is wanting change, even with friendships. I'm gonna tell you guys, I've had friends for years, like years, because I really don't like meeting, like I said, I don't really like change. I don't like meeting new people, because then you got to get to know a person all over again. You got to kind of open up to them and stuff like that. And I'm just not a very open person, like with myself. Like I'm very transparent, you know, with things I go through and stuff like that. But me personally, like allowing people to know me and to let them in, like I feel like it's very, very rare for me to let people in and let people close to me. And it's always because every time that I've tried it, it just doesn't work out. The thing is, I'm good at ignoring warning signs. When God is showing me certain things and certain people are showing me this person isn't for you, you know, like I'm like, yeah, no, God, like I can change them. Like I can fix it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even in relationships, it's like I'll hold on to someone for a very long time, and God is like, sis, let it go. Like this person is really breaking your heart and you're allowing them to break your heart. It's kind of crazy that you're doing that. You know what I mean? So it's like when God is wanting you to change, it's an unknown territory. And for me, I'm a person that if I like something, I kind of like to stick to what I know. You know what I mean? Even just like with food, let's say food, like I'm not going to go outside the box and try something different, because every time that I try something different, I end up not liking it. Once in a blue moon that I'll actually like something that I tried for the first time. But most of the time, it's like, I shouldn't have did that. I should have stuck with what I know. And I think that I program myself to be like that. So when it comes down to friendships, there was times where things that people did, or it's just that God was just showing me like, this is not for you. But we still try to hold on to these people. Even in relationships, God is telling you, like, you need to walk away from this person. How many times are you going to let this person hurt you? How many times you're going to let this person tear you down? How many times are you like, why are you like content with being like sad? But then you'll say, well, they make me happy, but your sad days outweigh your happy days. You know what I mean? But you still try to hold on to the happy days. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know that God is ready for you to change. In so many different ways, God shows you. Even me, I remember like before I had like stopped drinking and stopped going to the club and stopped partying, like things were happening left to right. Like we was getting pulled over, like we were going to jail, being, you know, for being intoxicated, like all types of things were happening that was telling me that God was pushing me in a different direction. But what did I keep doing? I kept doing it because I felt like I was having fun. I felt like this was my lifestyle. And this before I really had a true relationship with God. So I didn't understand that God was telling me like, hey, this is destruction. I really wasn't taking the warning signs, like when I'm falling out with friends, or like I'm getting drunk and I'm blacking out, or I'm getting drunk and I'm getting into fights and arguments with everybody around me inside the club. Like it's to the point even where I was even falling asleep in the club. But then I felt like when my friends were going out to the club, but then I didn't go, I felt like I missed out. I still just wanted to like make that work. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make that lifestyle work. I wanted to turn up. I felt like that was life, you know, turning up, getting wasted, not remembering what happened the day before. Like I really thought that was like super normal, not knowing that God was really calling me. When I ended up getting introduced to my church, like I really used to like buck against it, because it was like I knew what they were saying was right. And it's not a thing like they were controlling me or nothing. It was all lining up with everything that they were saying. Like when, you know, like when I go into church and they're like, it's time to stop drinking, you know, God is calling you to be different and do different, you know. It wasn't a thing like, you gotta stop drinking, you gotta stop, like, you know, you're going to hell. It wasn't none of that. It was more so of, I knew they were right, but at the end of the day, like I was so accustomed to the lifestyle that I was living that I did not want to change. Like I did not want to change. I really thought that I was having fun. I thought I was living the best moments of my life. And I'm like, these people are boring. All they do is go to church and they can't even do anything. Like, you know, but not realizing like, whoo, baby girl, that was furthest from the truth. Those people had peace. Those people had joy. Things that I was searching for, because when you in the world, you really do be searching like for love in all the wrong places, through friendships, through relationships that are bad for you, that are toxic, that mean you no good. You know, you're searching for peace. You know, like you just want to have peace, like when things is going all hectic and upside down, you know. And so what you do to try to find peace is, I used to self-medicate, get high, get drunk, pop pills, don't think about the situation. But then the next day I have to do it all over again, and the next day and the next day and the next day. And it was like, I'm not kidding you, in my 20s I was probably lit every single day from Monday all the way to Sunday, and do it all over again. There was a time that I even used to go to church service, New Year's Eve, get out of that service and have a bottle ready in the car, and we're about to go turn up and go to the city or go do this and go do that. You know what I'm saying? And drinking like in the church parking lot as we're driving out. And I just really, thinking about it, it makes me cringe on the inside. And it's just like, Lord, forgive me. But you know, he knew me then. He's not holding it against me. But those were the type of things that I would do. I would go into church on Tuesday, like literally got into fights. Like, I'm about to fight you, but then I'm gonna go to church because I feel like I need to go, you know, like we gotta go to church at the end of the day. Literally got into a fight Tuesday, Bible study. No lie. Me and my friends ended up getting into a fight with these girls, but we was like, you gotta hurry up. They thought we were playing, because we were telling them like, you gotta hurry up. We gotta go to Bible study. Like, we gotta be to Bible study at 6. And they're thinking like y'all just scary, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we're dead serious. Like, you got to hurry up because we got Bible study. So they came, we ended up fighting them. And right after we fought, we went straight to Bible study. And when we got there, I know, like, I commend our apostle and her husband, our pastor, because they seen a lot. You know what I mean? Times that we were inside the office, like in the church office, like arguing with each other, like friendships, like me and my friends, like really going to war with each other inside, like as if we're not even inside the church. And it was just like, it was God telling me that this is not it. It's time for you to change. It's time for you to come to me, you know, so that I can fix you, so that I can heal you, so that I can show you things that you need to work on inside yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, like, when God is showing you that he wants you to change, you got to go with it. If you've been drinking and you feel like you either black out, like you've been getting into it with a lot of people, maybe you might be in a bad friendship where a friend, like, you can't trust them with secrets, you can't rely on them, they're like always in competition or hating with you, whatever it is, you need to know when to let friendships go. I'm gonna tell you guys, something just happened where I was asking God, and I asked God, I said, God, if this person isn't for me, allow me to let them go, but I don't want any drama. I don't want any drama. I just want us to like not be friends. If we're not supposed to be friends, then I want to be able to walk away from that situation. And I tell you, like, we just stopped talking. Like, we literally just stopped talking, like, out of nowhere, you know? And I was okay with it. And I thank God, because I really don't like drama. I really do not like mess. I do not like, it gives me anxiety. Like when I get angry or when I'm ready to fight people, I really wanted it to be a peaceful just thing. Like if this person isn't for me, or if they're holding me back, or if it's causing like me not to grow, then just let it go. And I promise you, it happened. Even with my relationship a couple years back when I was engaged, I asked God the same thing. I told God, I said, if I'm not supposed to marry him, allow it to just like let it go. Now that situation, it didn't go smoothly. Like it was like arguments, a little bit of fighting, and it was drama filled, but I was able to walk away from that situation, and now I'm in a better place because I sought God for his advice, you know, and I sought him for his instruction over my life, because I realized that when I make decisions for my life, I really don't know what I'm doing, you know, but he knows, because he knows what's going to happen ahead of time. He knows what's going to happen a week from now, a year from now, a month from now. He knows. He planned my life out. My life is already, he knows what's going to happen, you know, and so why wouldn't, it's crazy, like, why wouldn't you trust somebody that already knows? Like, I'm a realistic person, so like, even when I was in the world, I'm not gonna ask somebody for advice that doesn't know anything. I'm a person that loves knowledge. I love people with wisdom and understanding, and when people make irrational decisions, or when they make decisions that I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I really think about the consequences to things. I really think about decisions that I make before I actually do them. Now, sometimes did I do them just because I wanted to? Yes, I did. But for the most part, I really like to think about things before I just jump into it and do it, you know? And so now I feel like I've come to a place where I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm okay with change and just going with the flow. Even when my business started to slow down, like, that would be something that before it would be like such a hindrance and a problem that I probably wouldn't be doing anything. I would just completely give up. But I felt like it slowed down for a reason. So I kind of wanted to just take a step back. And that's why I got off of social media, and so that I can hear God more clearly, and so that I can understand what it is that he's telling me that he wants me to do in my life at this point. And I feel like you should always consult God. You should always ask God. He will give you an answer. It's not going to always be the answer that you want, but he'll give you an answer, and it's up to you to whether you want to go with the change or not. But I just feel like going inside his will is so much better than what you want for your life, because you might be saying, I want to be stuck at this job, and you might be content at working this job, but God is saying that he wants you to be a business owner. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to go with that. You have to, of course, use wisdom. Don't just go quitting your job like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? You got to use wisdom and allow God to lead and guide you in these things. But when he's telling you to let go of a friendship, when he's telling you to stop drinking, you know, like, you feel it. Like, you can't say, oh, the church is just trying to control me, or Christians just try to control you, tell you what you can and can't do. You know in your heart that you feel like you want it, like you're done, like you feel like it's repetitive. That was for me. It felt like I just was repeating the same thing over and over. I'm like getting drunk every single day, but my problems are still here. They do not go away. They do not disappear by you drinking, by you getting high, by you going to the club and trying to party and trying to avoid what is really happening in your life. You know what I mean? It's better to face it head on and just allow God to work those things out in you. So when God is telling you to change, the best thing to do is to go with it, because you are just jacking yourself. And I jacked myself for years by still wanting to hang around certain people, still wanting to, you know, club or drink, still wanting to, you know, be content with just working, you know, jobs. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying if God is calling you to do something different, then you don't need to, you know, you need to go with what his will and what he thinks for your life, you know, because I could be right now, I could be stuck in a bad marriage. I could be with friends that really, really aren't really friends. You know what I mean? I could be like really like having liver and kidney problems because of my drinking was so excessive. You know what I'm saying? Or I could just be really outside of my mind. You know what I mean? And not progressing in life, not growing. So I just truly say that if God is calling for you to change, and you know in your heart when there is change, when God is calling you to change, you feel it. It's not nothing that nobody said at the church, not your mama, not your daddy, not nobody. You know in your heart that there is something that is telling you, that you need to change directions, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, whether it be the lifestyle that you're living, whether it be a relationship, you know, deep down on the inside. And I feel like the more that you go with the things in the way, the direction that God is taking you, you will just learn to be okay with what he has planned for your life. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be always easy. You're not going to always get it to the T. But to the most point, if you really have a heart like that, I really want to just live this life that God has called me, because we only get one shot at this. Like, we don't get no redos. We don't get no do-over. So if you wasted all your life going down the wrong path, and then your life ends and God shows you the life that he had for you, that would really hurt your spirit, because you'll be like, man, why didn't I listen? Why didn't I just pay attention? Why didn't I, you know? So it's better to just do it while you can. So I thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helps somebody. And please do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, peace.